4:50 with a little bit of Rolling Stones there for my brother Kevin Scholla. He's the host of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio, and you can also catch him as a Breitbart columnist, and he knows a heck of a lot about sports. So, hey, how's the Stones? Is that okay? Because we had the Jersey 2 weeks in a row. We had some Jersey boys.
Let's go with Mick.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with Mick.
Let's
go with Mick. Hey, Eddie, I appreciate you doing a Tuesday. I got a college hoops tomorrow and Thursday night. I'll be covering a couple of games, so nice to be with you on a Tuesday early in the week.
Absolutely, and two, it's fresh talk because we talk about what happened over the weekend with the games, so I thought it'd be a little fresher about, what's going on. But it'll be a couple weeks before. Hey, what do you think about the Pro Bowl being and people not playing and don't want to play and they're checking out and, nobody wants to watch or play it? Or I don't know. I don't know if people don't want to watch it, but what do you think about the new way they're doing it?
It's terrible. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And hockey started with this nonsense. You got a guy on your team who's playing on the other team.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be one conference against another conference. As you know in sports, the Goodell factor, they're ruining everything little by little in every chance that they can. But now the only all-star game that has any semblance of a game is baseball. Hockey does the same thing where you're picking teams with captains. Same thing with football. I mean, how do you even read the score? Like last year was a team Jerry Rice and team Deion Sanders. It's so silly. And so at least in baseball you still have something to it in the all-star game. But these all-star games are ridiculous. The NBA a couple of years ago, I'm watching it, and I'm looking and I'm saying, wait a minute, why does Derrick Rose and I want to say, was it Chris Bosh? I forget who the other player was, but they had the same number, and they were on the same team. I said, what is that about? It's because that's their number on their respective teams.
Yeah.
But in the old days, it used to be, well, wait a minute, too bad. We go by seniority. So, like, if Larry Bird, Scott Pippen, and Patrick Ewing, all 33, were on the same team, well, Bird would get it because he was the oldest. And there was something cool about that. You'd go, oh, what number did the guy have to switch to? And something to talk about now. Oh no, you got to wear your number. I mean, it's just really weird.
All right, in about 7 minutes, Hussein is going to give us a speech. Looks about like he believes that we're just one more tax increase from solving the nation's problems. If we can just some other more socialist type rollouts. What do you think about it all?
Yeah, well, a couple things on the tax situation. One. We talk about how he is the most far-left socialist president you've ever seen, no doubt. But he is also a run-of-the-mill Democrat at the same time, because here he goes again with your famous Democrat deal, tax and spend, tax and spend, tax and spend, no matter what. The other thing he wants to do with this is he knows he's got a Republican-controlled Congress now. He knows it's going to get shot down, but he'll be able to use this to complain and moan for the 2 lame duck years, saying, well, I can't do anything. See, look at this wonderful proposal I rolled out. And the media is already right behind it, Eddie, saying these absolutes, not the president says, but instead just saying, oh, this will help the middle class. In other words, how could anyone like these evil conservatives be against it?
Oh, beautiful. You're just, I think you're so spot on. He knows these things are not going nowhere. He knows they're not going to work to improve anybody's life or help the economy in general. But he's just going to use it because he's going to balk on the XL Keystone Pipeline. He's going to balk on true tax reform, a broad-based tax reform. And so he's going to say, look, Republicans won't work with me. How can I work with them? Don't you think? They're just lost leaders, we call it in the grocery business.
Yeah, and then the funny thing will be to see if Boehner and McConnell fall for it and actually do budge. It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Jeez, that'd be. Has Palin spoke out anything on tonight's speech?
Well, Palin's been focusing more, like you said, on the Chris Kyle situation. She also was, talking about Dr. Martin Luther King this past week. One of her idols, obviously, and Alveda King. I also want to thank Bristol Palin for featuring my interview with Alveda King today in her blog. I had Alveda King on this. She's our guest this week on Mama Grizzly Radio, talking about her uncle Martin Luther King. But no, I'm sure we'll hear from Palin though afterwards. No doubt about that. But she did mention though with Joni Ernst giving the Republican response tonight. So, yes, looking forward to Palin-endorsed new senator from Iowa, Joni Ernst. And it is the Republican response. It's not the Tea Party one. Usually they bring out these milquetoasts to give the response, and you'd have to go look on some crazy website to hear anybody, with half common sense. So it would be good to see if Joni Ernst is going to stick to things that she ran on, because, as we know, a lot of those who voted for Boehner, those in the House, did not.
What do you think? I mean, I know this is pretty broad base and a tough question, but what do you think happens over this term, the next, give it the next 12 months? And I'm sorry, in the House and the Senate with the president and all. What you think they get anything done, or you think it's just road jam? The president blames the Republicans and says, "Hey, they should work with us," but then throws them under the bus before then.
Yeah, I think all of that will go down, where it will be that blame game and, trying to set up Hillary or whoever it may be with ammo for 2016. The question will be, what will the result be? Will these, establishment Republicans just, sit back and let it happen? Or will, true conservatives come to the forefront and be able to call them out on it? And you have to do it every step of the way because, as you know, this administration has the media in their back pocket. So you have to do it every step of the way and, come out on top at the end. So we know what they're going to do. The question is, how will it be portrayed, and what will the American people think about it?
What do you think the leverage of the Tea Party is? Because now, I've got about 2 minutes left, Kevin, but now the Republican majority is even larger in the House. The Tea Party leverage has shrunk, statistic-wise, and so percentage-wise. And how do you think that's going to play out? Are they going to have more control or less control, and are the kind of country club Republicans going to rule the day?
It's going to depend on backbone again, and if you have guys like Yoho and Gohmert and Gosar in the House, and guys like Lee and Cruz in the Senate who don't back down and don't stop bringing the message of the truth to Americans, then numbers won't matter. But if they are, if somehow people get to them and they have these other folks, rolled out as the new quote-unquote conservatives that aren't really, well, then you have a different narrative coming out. But, at least those five that I mentioned, I would be shocked if any of those back down. So hopefully they can keep, going at it and keeping that message out there, because we've seen it already, Eddie, as you know, Romney, McCain, it's not going to happen. If you have Jeb Bush or Chris Christie or any of these guys, Rubio, whoever, they are not going to beat Hillary or any of those Democrats. You need a contrast.
That's it. And we've seen it time and time again, Oh, we need a moderate. That's more palatable. Well, we keep electing these, keep putting these moderates up, and they keep losing. Hey, Kevin, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Kevin Scholla, thank you so much. See you next week.
Thanks, Eddie.